So we are getting started. We're going to get a little started. The main speaker took a little longer, but we're excited to be here. We're excited for you all who are coming here. Welcome to our session. This is the While I'm Getting Naked session. All right, everybody, we're getting started.
Excuse us, we're about to start a seminar.
We're getting started. Yes, ladies.
Y'all are welcome to stay.
Yeah,
we want you to stay. Get naked with us.
Yes, they are. They're here for you. They're here for you. So we're excited. Thank you all for coming. We're excited as more people will move into the room. We're going to go ahead and get started with the session. We want to make sure those who are here can get as much of it as possible. Anything that spills over, any gems that you pick up through this conversation, we want you to be able to spill it over to the next ones that come in, but they have a strict time, so we're going to go ahead and get started for everybody. So thank you again. My name is Michael Stewart Isaacs. I'm the co-founder of I Am Brilliant. I Am Brilliant is an organization where we focus on people's gifts and talents as a means of illuminating in their families, communities, and their companies. And it was founded by myself and my lovely wife here, Shemeka Ebony, who is also the co-founder of Black Girl Magic Market, the Crown Campaign, as well as the author of the phenomenal book, While I'm Getting Naked. And that's why you all are here today. We're talking about the concept of getting naked, not so much about our actual being completely naked, but that of vulnerability. And Shemeka has written a beautiful book that reflects how do we take our vulnerability and find strength in it. How do we take our vulnerability and start to propel all of what God has called for us in our lives? And that's the beginning of this session. So without further ado, again, Michael Stewart Isaacs, I'm here to introduce y'all to the lovely Shemeka Ebony. Shemeka, would you like to take over from here?
Yes! Thank you all so much. Thank you for coming and being present with us today. I'm really excited because this is a heart project for me. Getting naked, I know that was a catch that probably had y'all. Y'all want to know who's stripping? Well, it's me. This is what I'm stripping with today. We encourage you, please take out your phones, record this. If you know there's someone that needs to hear something positive and inspiring, go live, check out, record this, put this out there. The truth is, I'm only going to see you all one time, maybe in my life. So I'm going to maximize this impartation to be everything that you were expecting, maybe didn't even know that you wanted, but you're going to leave here knowing that this is something that you needed, whether it's a letting go and a stripping for your own self, or someone that you know that could really benefit from this stripping journey.
Yes. So as we're here, everyone's coming in. Let me ask anyone, has anyone in here ever been asked, what makes you brilliant? Have you ever been asked that question before? Yeah. Okay. Your brilliance, most people on average have not been asked a simple question. We've unlocked this through this journey. As the founder of I Am Brilliant, as well as the author of While I'm Getting Naked, part of what Shemeka's work focuses on is illumination. Us being able to find a way to bring our light out, to help us being able to be the lighthouse in dark places. Does anybody want to be the light in dark places in here?
I am the light in dark places.
I know that's right. There you go, claim it now.
Yes.
And that's the spirit we're fostering. So in this session, we're going to be a little bit lively. Feel free to scream, talk back with us. Shemeka's going to read a little bit from her book, talk a little bit about the vision she had from While I'm Getting Naked. I'm here to ask questions, just to engage. And go ahead, Shemeka, let's find out now. These people want to know, what does it mean to get naked? Why did you write this book called While I'm Getting Naked? What inspired it?
While I'm Getting Naked, y'all, is an intimate journey with yourself. Really, the truth is, you're the only one that wakes up to you before you go fix anything. You're the last person that sees yourself at night. And the things we tell ourselves inform us on how we act, how we operate, and how we move and organize. And so this While I'm Getting Naked was me going through a bitter to better journey. Well, what could you possibly be bitter about? Well, let's see. I was in a marriage that ended up with my ex-husband at that time, not this king right here. Ex-husband at that time being incarcerated. So I was stuck out of nowhere, literally. One day had a whole happy family, the house picket fence and everything, you do everything right? And the next minute my life was turned upside down. I was raising 2 black boys, trying to reimagine what this was going to look like for them having an incarcerated father. And so for me, it was about motivating myself to be healed, because all I found is I was mad. I was mad this happened to me. I was mad at God because he allowed this to happen. I was mad at the people around me that said they were going to be there, but really didn't know how to touch me because I was blocking everybody out. Why? Because I was mad, I was bitter, I was funky, and I was salty. Now, how many of you have books inside of you? You got a story to tell. You've been holding on to a book. Let me tell you, this book is about promise too. I wrote this book 10 years ago. It took me 10 years to let it go. Why? Because I was like, well, nobody's going through this. They don't need this. They won't need what this truth is. But what I found, I wrote about this 2011. We talked about, remember when Haiti was going through the experiences of being condemned and judged. I wrote about that in this book, not knowing that when it released in 2021, what was the world doing? Still judging Haiti. And that was God's reminder to me that regardless of when that season of yes comes, the manifestation is still going to have the outcome of prosperity out of obedience. And I realized that the more naked I got with myself, the more empowered I felt about myself. You couldn't tell me nothing. I mean, God loves a stripper and I know it. Why? Because I had to strip my own beliefs. I had to strip my own values. I had to strip my own expectations. I didn't wake up and want to be a single parent, but I was really living a life that I had to experience what that was. And so from transitioning that bitter pathway, wanting to be healed, wanting to care about my ex-husband, wanting him to be well, not wanting equal to be about him. Why? Because he's the father of my children. You know, so I know there had to still be a positive relationship that had to come out of that, and I had to protect that. And here I am looking at two young black boys like, how am I going to do this? And it took me leaning in to that nakedness and vulnerability to reach out to a village and say, hey, I need some help. I'm raising some black boys. We don't want to repeat this cycle of statistics. So I leaned in on my village, and this village was really uncomfortable with my nakedness at first, because I'm stripping of everything. Like, I got this anger thing, I got this frustration thing, all these things that were holding me back as a woman. I couldn't feel beautiful because I was so mad. I didn't want a man looking at me because I was mad. And I don't know, y'all might not experience nothing like that. Maybe y'all ain't interested in being in a relationship with nobody else because you didn't have one of those bitter relationships that got you fit and tied, right?
I still got that.
You might be there right now. But I just want you to know that this getting naked really allows you to have that mindset shift. As a leadership coach, I saw the abundance not only coming in my own life and how I was helping coach other people in leadership, but I was able to help other people find their leadership journey and being able to grow their capacity as leaders. So when we begin to get naked, then our authentic self gets to come up. So then we don't have to keep sending our representatives to the job. We don't have to send our representatives on that first date. But we can really be our authentic self and be respected and be valued for the fullness that we bring into a space.
So let me step down. So did everyone feel what you just said right there? Is everyone with it? Did everybody relate to that situation? Does everyone have something that they're going through right now in this moment?
Oh, absolutely.
Always and always. So part of what we're trying to do with the naked journey is help everyone while they're in a place realize that this is only a temporary situation, right? That the circumstances that you're going through and the things you've been through is setting you up for the greater strength that you're looking for in the future. Part of what Shemeka laid out for us is a roadmap towards the path it takes over time. Sometimes we can feel like I should have did this years ago, and then we feel like we're delayed or stopped or held back. But what Shemeka found out on this journey was you just keep going, you keep pressing forward. You find that moment. You find those people in your life that you're evenly yoked with, that God will bring forth in your life to make sure that you all have what you need in abundance. And that's what this is about, is taking that vulnerability. Now, most of us won't necessarily say, hey, I want to strip down and be naked and be that person. But sometimes we need to do that, right? Who do we find naked in the world that we love so dearly? Babies, right? Right?
Yes.
So sometimes on our journey, whether it's that new relationship, that new family, that community activity that you're involved in, something that new business that you have on your heart, you got to start over like a baby. You can't say I'm 37 starting that business and somehow you think you had 37 years in that business, right? We all have to strip down again and start that nakedness journey. What Shemeka has been able to do in a command fashion is write a piece that's short but concise and allows for each and every one of us to be able to tap into our fullest potential. By not only reading, but being able to take your own thought. Anybody ever read something and your mind gets to racing and you say to yourself, I thought about that before, I said that before, I heard that before. Well, this book allows for that connection, that revelation to come over you and gives you a space to write it out and really get all those ideas together. So you're not only just writing or reading a book, you're writing that new business vision for your life. So tell them about that, Shemeka. How have you used this book to start a new vision for your
So, when I was obedient enough to walk forward in my yes, was like, really y'all, in a pandemic is when I finally decided to be obedient. What better time than in a pandemic to manifest the writing of this? But what I saw immediately is that so many people could connect because they were able to see themselves. And sometimes our vulnerability is what people need. You all have been in a place, I don't know, my name is Shemeka, right? You know when I'm in a classroom, because normally it's when the roll is called, you know whether or not I'm absent, right? So when we find ourselves in those situations, in those scenarios, when we take a moment and can step out and be our authentic self, whether it's correcting someone from saying your name wrong, or whether it's standing in your truth of who you are, you're illuminating, which is again that brilliance, right? Brilliance means luminous. So when your light shines, when you connect it to your passion and you turn it on, it is going to inspire like a ripple effect those people that are around you that have been waiting for a light to come on. Why? Because that light fed this light, and this light is going to feed this light. And this is what we're all here to do, is reignite people's lights. Because we've been hiding in darkness. We've either put ourselves there in some situations that got dark after a while because we ignored the warning signs, or some situations that we have lost faith and belief in ourselves and our confidence in ourselves, that we don't believe that there's something brilliant inside of us. So we work with people to help remind you of who you are, because we all have something brilliant and luminous inside of us that we are called to share. And when we find ways to create opportunities to plug in what you're passionate about into your community, then you create the sustainable change that people are looking for. Now you become the solution, and you can identify a problem. And the fact that you survived is the thing that people need to see, because they now have hope. So I'm sitting in front of you all, giving you hope. You're looking at a survivor. You're looking at a single mother. In this book, I talk about growing up dealing with child sexual abuse. In this book, I talk about having to deal with being, I grew up on mayonnaise sandwiches. I'm from Kinston, North Carolina. Kinston, what? So, yes, Lenore County, you know, we rough, you know, we have a time. Right, yes, we are illuminating Kinston. We redefining that narrative, right? But I had to be able to make myself turn my light on so that people at home can see hope too. You know, not run away from where you came from. Because I want those that were watching me fall, watching me break down, watching me tear apart, you need to see this rebuilding too. I'm going to bring you a seat to my new place.
So with this, Shemeka, not only did you write this book, throughout this journey leading up to the release of the book, this woman right here is an entrepreneur. Do we have any entrepreneurs in the house? All right, let me get double on it. Do we have any mothers in the house? All right, do we have any wives in the house? Okay. All right, we want to claim it all, because these are just titles, but at the end of the day, you all are one man. Y'all are the most powerful source of energy, the most powerful source of resource. No human being can come to this world without you all. That's the vulnerability. That's the nakedness we're talking about. It's the energetic power that comes when we're no longer ashamed, when we're no longer feeling that something is disruptive. But not only is this woman wrote this phenomenal book, this is the founder of Black Girl Magic Market, a marketplace designed to help black women get the resources and guidance they need towards finding their business journey, finding their business dream. Part of what we're learning on that journey in entrepreneurship is that most people can start the business, but they ain't dealt with themselves. They haven't dealt with themselves. And Shemeka takes the time to deal with herself in a very transparent way that all of us have to really get to. Sometimes the greatest potential is locked into us because we're lying to ourselves. Raise your hand if you ever told a lie to yourself. So part of this is the beginning of this naked journey, is that being vulnerable, even in a crowd of people, seeing that other people too are flawed. Even other people may have lied to themselves. But guess what? You can start telling the truth tomorrow. You can start manifesting those dreams into reality tomorrow. Instantly. And that's what this impact of this book has done, and the impact of her work. So beyond just the Black Girl Magic Market, come on, co-founder of the Crown Campaign.
Amen.
Come on, the co-founder of I Am Brilliant. Talk more to these women about the work you're doing that focuses on family, community, and company.
Thank you for lifting that up, honey. Y'all see why I like to keep them around. So one of the things that God has called me to do, I've been in Hedges and Highways since 2012, and to break that down, that really means being the church outside of the church, in the hedges and highways, literally. Our family has lived in a church, and my son, who's recording now at 7, wrote a grant to get a backpack program started. So this filters over to the children. There's no person left behind. We got 6 between us, y'all. So we treat this business like a farm. Everybody got a job in it, right? And so for me, having this moment to be able to share this was a culmination of advocacy that I've done. I believe that if God opens doors, I'm going to take the doors off the hinges. And I've manifested that from theory to practice. How you say that? Yes, come on. We can take That's part of our call. So in 2019, New York started a Human Rights Commission and launched the first version of the Crown Act. My partner, Dr. Bernice Ramallah, and I got together and we was like, we got some lived experience in this stuff. Let's amplify, get behind this. We took our Crown Campaign advocacy in 2019 and amplified it at a national level so that everyday people like you and me that have experienced racial discrimination in the form of hair discrimination had a safety community that they could come to and have these related stories, have these real experiences, to have these talks. And so we not only amplified it here in North Carolina to push for the Crown Act to be introduced, which it was introduced here in the House, thanks to Senator Natalie Murdock co-leading that. I love Senator Natalie Murdock. She's amazing. She's been a heavy hitter advocating for this in North Carolina. But nationally, we've worked with people just like you, everyday people, whether you're a beautician, you're a barber, you're a community member that knows that there's discrimination happening, whether it's in workplace discrimination that is hindering our equity, right? Because if we look at those grooming policies, they're pretty antiquated, and they're saying some real racist stuff in there, but hey, we needed a job, so we just bypassed that and said, nope, okay, you want me to do what in my hair? Okay. Not really understanding the impact of that inequity being a ripple effect that really created barriers. We found in our research with the Crown Campaign there was a high number of health inequity that was happening to black women because their nerves are shot. They weren't about how they're showing up. They weren't about if somebody in their job want to say, well, yeah, I liked your hair when you were straight. I didn't ask you for your opinion. And you didn't pay for this, so you're going to leave me alone. So being able to have that safe space, to have that village, we created that village nationally and amplified people like everyday people like us that are creating change, and that led to policy change. We might not have gotten it accepted in the state, but we knew that the Crown Act still had to have teeth. So we partnered with Action NC, RAGE, NC, the National Coalition of Black Women Rise, and we galvanized with these people, and we went county to county, over 100 counties, and we started with resolutions, because we know if we don't get it in writing, it don't really matter. So we're getting North Carolina ready. We're getting organizations and community leaders like you ready to mobilize to create that change. You can look at the grooming policy at your children's school. We had cases where a grandmother got arrested because she sent her 4-year-old to school and refused to put him in a dress or make him say he was transitioning to a little girl because he wanted to have a long braid in his hair. So this is real. This is really happening. That was in Texas. And we wrote a letter of condemnation. We went after the school board. Not only did they change the policy, though, they cut off the program. Talk about racial hate. They ended the whole pre-K program because they didn't want to let anybody in. They didn't want us to look like we won. But that led to this grandmother losing her job. The community was funky towards her. She wasn't getting any support. So there are real stories behind what may seem commercialized and what you're seeing on the news and these big conglomerate social medias. Like, this is the real stuff. People's lives are impacted, and we've had to work with those parents and those grandparents to work with them individually to build up their self-esteem back, to help them feel empowered that it is okay to stand up for your child and that they should not be racially discriminated against. So that was one of the initiatives that is a passion project of mine that I really encourage you all to stay close to being aware of, to see how you can create change. And then start with a conversation. Sometimes we have to deal with this conversation in-house. Because, you know, our parents, we were told, don't wear this dress, don't wear your hair natural, you know, you need you go get a perm. So these are some internal messages within our community that we have to deal with too, to kind of really heal so that we don't perpetuate this issue.
Okay. So go ahead and clap that up if you want to give it a second. She's doing some amazing work across the country here in North Carolina, and it's for us. It's for you, it's for us that we have to find empowerment. We have to find our angles to really galvanize our strength. So part of what Shemeka has really led up to is a concept of lived experience. Has anyone ever heard the term lived experience? Okay, so we call it PLE, people with lived experience. So now we live in a society most of the time, and what we reflect from this Getting Naked journey is that sometimes we don't know how to value our lived experience. We know how to value when someone says you got that 4-year degree. We know how to value when someone says I got that certification. But no one says, I grew up in Newark, New Jersey. I grew up in Kinston, North Carolina. And those experiences, those ups and downs, those surviving of a hurricane, those dealing with bad relationships, all of these things are education. And part of the work we're trying to do with While I'm Getting Naked, this wonderful founder here, Shemeka, is making sure that people's lived experiences not only lifted up from other people, but we value our own lived experience. Understand that you have a PhD level residency in everything that you've been through. And so when someone asks you, why are you braiding those hairs and starting that business? Why are you doing that coaching service? Why are you doing all these things? You say, why? Because I'm getting naked. Because I'm showing my vulnerability to show my power. I'm showing you that I am more than just my lips, my thighs, and my hair, but I am a person with so much to offer. And that's what we're here to encourage you women, that you have so much. The world needs what you have inside. Don't let the illusions that men are running something or the white man is running something or all these other things. You all are in charge.
We are the ones.
You are the ones that they're waiting for. You are the superheroes of everybody's legacy that they're trying to build. But you have to turn on that light. And you have to create that nakedness, that vulnerability. Because if you do that, all of a sudden God opens up the world to you. Because he realizes you are no longer ashamed of every gift and talent that he gave to you, as well as the beauty that is your nakedness. Shemeka? Now, as we take that into consideration and we have more people coming in, some of the session we'll have to kind of go through. I know some of the other ones went, so we have a booth. It's at Black Girl Magic Market. It's on the second or the third floor. So please check us out if you have any more questions, because we are going to get to the wrap-up side of this. But Shemeka is going to do something special. We do have books here for sale, and we have some at our booth. But what we're going to do to end this is I'm going to get Shemeka to read one of the chapters in the book, While I'm Getting Naked, as a means for y'all to hear not only the beauty of her writing, the poetry of it, but how right now, in this moment, I promise you a spiritual change. Shemeka, will you grace us with reading one of your phenomenal chapters out of this book, While I'm Getting Naked?
Yes, absolutely. So, like I said at the beginning of this session, I may not ever see any of you again. But I want to make sure that you can leave today with something worth sharing with someone else. Whether it's you getting naked with your own journey, or you sharing my nakedness and my journey. I'm here for it. I'm all about it. So I break this book up into 3 sections. It's the I'm coming out, it's the naked and not ashamed, and then there's the acts. So you will not only follow my journey, you get to experience your own journey as well. So this is titled, Name That Label.
Excuse me. I don't know if y'all want this, but I think this is, I think the camera starts at the battery low.
That's fine. Can you push the button for me and then start it over? You're so sweet.
Okay.
We appreciate you. You get a prize for that.
Name that label. And the scripture reference here for deeper dives is James 4:11, 1 and 2. Many of us wear labels that we are either born with, earned, or were given by life's traumatic experiences or crises. In this moment, I want you to make a list of all the labels you are wearing and those you are overcoming. You may have labels like sister, mom, dad, liar, cheater, promiscuous, hetero or homosexual, strong, meek. These are all labels that people identify you with or that we self-identify with. Now, the journal exercise that goes along with this says, now that you've had a moment to think about your list, make a list of the labels that you wear. Choose your top 3 and reflect on why are these important to you. And if you have more than 3 that you identify with, go a little further and dig a little deeper. What makes you self-identify with these labels? And if there are labels you came up with that are misrepresentations of who you are, or who you are not, or who you don't want to be known as, I'd recommend you take those labels and reassign it back to the person that gave it to you and let them carry that weight. Use this exercise to release yourself from the labels that feel like they're harnesses too. That heavy weight. And as you let go, write a goodbye letter, a goodbye note, or a declaration to that label. Turn away and don't look back. And if you feel inclined to grab that label again, revisit your goodbye note and really believe old things are passed away.
Go. Woo! Yes, thank y'all so much. So as we reflect on this, let me ask a question. Has anyone ever been coupled with the concept of imposter syndrome? Raise your hand. Imposter syndrome. You ever heard the term imposter syndrome? And this is where we walk into spaces and we walk into places, and sometimes we do not know we deserve to be there. We do not know we feel qualified. Well, today we're here to end that questioning to yourself, that you are what you're looking for. You are more than qualified. If you know that you are in a position where God called you to be in a room, then you're the change they want. If no one looks like you, then that's even more the greater. That you walk into a room, that you can be the person that you were called to be. The key to this is about turning on your light. The key to this is about understanding that brilliance, about getting that reboot. Who needs a reboot in this room? Who needs a reboot in this room? Let's go. Let's go. We gotta do that. We gotta charge each other up. And that's what this is all about. Is that we all need to feel inspired so we can be inspiring. We need to know that the things that we have been through is the super strength that we need. Everybody watch those superhero genres, right? They all go through something to lead them up to understanding how to use your gifts and talents, right? So understanding your journey, gifts and talents are natural, but you gotta practice on how to use them. You gotta create ways to test them out and test the ability. Put yourself on those hero journeys and those ways to find it. This book does that in such an elegant way, and it allows it not to be something that's daunting, right?
So we'll hang out a little bit today as long as we can, because I know we have to wrap out. But we have a raffle that's going to be happening. So for everyone that came to the seminar, we're going to be passing out some tickets.
Yes.
We have our special guests that will be coming and distributing. Did you all already get
Everyone
tickets?
get a raffle ticket?
Okay, we have some.
They have some for you? All right. Okay.
So this is our call to action while we're getting more tickets, is for you to think about what is it that is holding you back. For these business owners in here, first of all, y'all definitely want to come to Booth 10. We want you to make sure you get those access to resources. Because we're not just a vending experience. We are experience to help you get your kitchen together and make sure that you are get an opportunity to have a sustainable run with your business. So we're all about removing those barriers. Yeah, raise your hand if you need some more tickets. Okay, we got one up front.
All right, so we're getting ready to wrap up because
You need to. Okay, yes.
I want to know if your company helps women no matter where they are.
yes.
Yes.
No matter where you are, this helps you. So let me start with this. We have the Black Girl Magic Market. That's the booth for entrepreneurs. Our whole organization, I Am Brilliant, focuses on family, community, and company. So we have something for everyone. But let me ask this one question while people get their ticket. Who's ready to get there while I'm getting naked book? Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you're ready to get your book today.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go. I can see all the hands up. We need to support it. We're trying to sell out this book.
Books are $20.
Books are $20. Shemeka has signed it. And we're ready to do the sellout. So please get your book.
We have one more up front. Need for a ticket up front.
One more up front. Yes, thank y'all very much.
Beautiful queen. I see you could win. Yeah.
Yes, there we go. There we go. So we do need to wrap up. Again, thank you all. I know some of y'all came a little later. I think the time for Sherry Shepard ran a little longer. I know Sherry was on point. But now you get to meet Shemeka Ebony, right? Before she gets on the View, before she gets on the Real, before she gets on the Talk. Y'all need to come and talk to her today, because we ain't here to play. So thank y'all so much for coming. While I'm getting naked, Black Girl Magic Market booth. Please let us know if you want to get a book. We have some over here in the corner. We'll take anything, Cash App, PayPal, as well as cash. Definitely come don't see us, so we want to wrap up, but we, y'all got it. Come on.
We got one more.
Come on, bring it over.
And if you need some help getting
I
that,
should've known it was you.
we do offer leadership coaching. So
Yes.
leadership and relationship coaching, we're here for it. We can help you no matter
Yes, if
where
you
you are.
have relationships, we definitely help. We do relationship coaching together as couples coaching, help you with everything, again, from the
Everybody in?
families, relationships, your community engagement, as well as what you can do in your company. So, is everybody ready to be more vulnerable and transparent in their lives? All right, let's go. But we all need tools to do that, right? Coaching. Kobe Bryant wasn't good by himself, right? He needed a coach, right? So all of y'all have this wonderful coach here, Shemeka Ebony, and we're looking forward. Did we got the
Yes,
tickets?
we have a winner.
We have a winner now,
We
y'all ready?
got a winner. 514 460. Oh! Congratulations.
Yes. We'll reach in the back, yes.
We are
We have some more gifts for you as well.
We are wrapped. Thank you so much for coming to our While I'm Getting Naked session, and we'll stick around as long as we can.
Yes, come and act. We have to wrap up for the session, but thank y'all so much for coming out. Any questions you have, check out the website, ShemekaEbony.com, IamBrilliant.org. You can get more information. Black Girl Magic Market is a free platform to register your business. We'd love to see you grow. All right, be brilliant, people.